Hello, everybody. We finally made it to our final case study for this class. So, the case that I chose today, or this week, I should say, is Davis versus Monroe County Board of Education. Just start off by saying, when I first dug into this case, I was really surprised that, the age level, um, that, the age of the students that were involved in this case. So, this case is in regards to fifth graders and sexual harassment. Um, this case did not involve a sport either, but I still thought it was a good case and a good reminder to teachers, coaches, and athletic directors. But I'll get into that more in the end. So this place, or the facts of the case, to summarize it, took place in Georgia, and the case made its way all the way to the United States Supreme Court in 1999. I was only 7 years old then. So, in the end, the Supreme Court ruled 5-4 um, in favor of the what would be the plaintiff in this case. They ruled that under Title IX of the Federal Education Amendments of 1972, school boards are liable for failing to stop student-on-student sexual harassment under certain circumstances. So that kind of lets you know where the case is going. So what happened was this lawsuit was brought by a fifth grader's mother. And the fifth grader's name was LaShonda Davis, and her mother brings a lawsuit against the elementary school which her daughter attended to, which was Hubbard Elementary Public School in Monroe County, Georgia. The mother is arguing that the school had failed to protect her child under Title IX, and she's arguing that no disciplinary action was taken in response to the harassment to stop the harassment. Their case refers to the student, or when you're reading the story or the case in the book, the case refers to the accused student as GF. It says that GF, which is a classmate of LaShonda, attempted to touch LaShonda in inappropriate areas such as her breasts and genital areas. It goes on to state that he said things like, I want to feel your breasts and I want to get into bed with you. So these instances continued to occur into January. In January, there was 2 more incidents that happened, and after these 2 incidents, LaShonda, the 5th grade girl, told her mother about the incidents. Obviously, the mother very unhappy, and went and talked to the classroom's teacher and also the school administration, the school principal. So in the suit, she argues that the school didn't do anything to stop this behavior from happening, even though they knew what was going on. So it's sad these incidents continued happening all the way into mid-May. So you're looking at from December to mid-May, you're looking at the whole second half of school there. So Her grades continued to suffer, which her mom pointed out in the court. And also in 1993, April 1993, her father discovered a suicide note she had written. In the suicide note, she stated that, she didn't know how much longer she could take this. So the first court, it started in the federal district court in Georgia, and then it went to the Circuit of Appeals Court. Went to the Circuit of Appeals Court because the federal district court ruled, they rejected the notion that the school board was liable for student-on-student sexual harassment. So they appealed the decision, and then that court also ruled and rejected the notion that the school board was liable to student-on-student harassment. So after that, the case eventually made it to the United States Supreme Court. On January 12, 1999, the Supreme Court ruled that school districts are liable when school officials are deliberately indifferent to sexual harassment, furthermore, of which they have actual knowledge that harassment is so severe, persuasive, and objectively offensive that it is said to deprive the victims of access to educational opportunities or benefits that the school provides. The court also required that the harassment be serious enough to have systemic effect of denying the victim equal access to an education program or activity. According to the majority, systemic effects means that it's likely that had a single act of one-on-one pure harassment would meet. That is unlikely that a single act of one-on-one pure harassment would meet the requisite level of systemic effect. So the Supreme Court ended up overturning the decision of the other two courts. So, and finally, it did come out, the harasser, the classmate that's referred to as GF, did come out and admit that he was sexually harassing LaShonda. So, and he was charged as well. So, as athletic directors, what can we take away from this? To me, it just kind of opened, my mind to, things like this can happen any grade level, not just in the collegiate or high school level. Things can happen, at the younger levels too that you wouldn't expect. What if this happened during a practice or in a locker room, to where you are supposed to be, supervising the kids or providing care for the kids? If you don't address it or turn your shoulder to it, you're going to be held liable for that, and the school is going to be held liable. To me also, it's more of a potential concern in today's world because of, kids just are growing up faster nowadays. They have access to internet and social media, so they're seeing and hearing things more regularly that are not appropriate for them, which can have a detrimental effect on them. So again, we're about ready to start school up here, and we just had to complete Title IX training, pass a test, and then we had to also, sexual harassment training as well, where we know how to identify this and what to do when we identify this. And I think that's a state requirement that all schools have to do that. So, Title IX affects everything that we do as educators and coaches when we are at work.